Hi guys, this is Miss Stefan, and these are your vocabulary words for Unit 1. Just as a reminder, how this works is you need this piece of paper. This is your chart for all of your vocabulary for this week. If you did not get this paper, please pause this video now and see me. If I am unavailable, then go ahead and get out a piece of paper and just use that, and we can copy it over another time. You will be given the vocabulary word. You will need to copy the word, its definition, and then make any notes about how you can remember it. It could be something that I've said, something that I've shown you, something that it reminds you of as soon as you see it. Anything that's going to help you remember it. Here we go. Your first word is acclimate. Acclimate is a verb, and it means adjust to climate or environment, to adapt. If you are ever going to climb a mountain, especially Mount Everest, because it's so high, the oxygen levels drop the higher and higher you go. So you have to take your time and stop at all these different camps in order to acclimate to the lowering oxygen levels. So you would go to base camp, camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, 4, and then finally the summit. This would take you several days so that you could acclimate or adjust to the lack of oxygen as you go higher and higher. Your next word is ancestral. It is an adjective, and it means pertaining to one's forebears or ancestors. Good way to remember this, ancestral, ancestors. If you remember from social studies class, many families have a coat of arms. This is an ancestral coat of arms belonging to ancestors. It has their shield, has their family motto, family slogan, etc. The next word, aspire. Aspire is a verb, and it means to have a great desire. Many athletes aspire to go to the Olympics in order to get a medal in whatever sport they play. They greatly desire to go to the Olympics to get a gold, silver, or bronze medal. The next word is crescendo. Crescendo is a verb, and it means gradually increasing in volume or intensity. If you're a musician or you're a singer, you're probably already familiar with this word. Crescendo in music is the same. It means that you're to play it or sing it with increasing volume, with increasing loudness. Let's take a look at a video clip from Wayne's World. See if you can identify where the singers crescendo. Your next word is dependent. It is an adjective, and it means relying on something or someone else. Babies are dependent on their parents or other caregivers in order to give them everything they need to survive. Since they don't have motor skills, they can't walk, they can't talk and express their needs, they are completely reliant on someone else in order to feed them, clothe them, protect them, shelter them, etc. Babies are completely dependent upon adults. Your next word is despite. It is an adjective, and it means without being affected by or in spite of. This man is not at all being affected by the fact that there is a twister in the horizon there. He goes out to cut his grass just like it's a normal Saturday. So despite the twister behind him, he's going to get his lawn care done anyway. Your next word is evolve. It's a verb, and it means to develop gradually or to slowly undergo change or transformation. You might recognize the word evolution, which comes from evolve, a concept that you've probably heard of at least in science class, which talks about how the human species has evolved from other species, that we developed gradually from other species. In this picture, you'll see chimpanzees to man, and then to modern man at the end. We have gradually evolved from chimpanzees to the computer age. The next word, exquisite. Exquisite is an adjective, and it means beautifully made or designed. This is St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, in the Vatican, and it is exquisite if you look at the artwork and the architecture, the gold-framed pictures, and the altar there. It is beautifully made. It is exquisite. The next word, extreme. Extreme is an adjective, and it means farthest in any direction, very intense, radical, to the greatest degree. This is an extreme sport. This man is tightrope walking over this giant ravine between the two cliffs. This is to the furthest degree possibly dangerous. It is very intense, radical, extreme. Exuberant. Exuberant is an adjective, and it means full of high spirits. In the next video clip, you'll see the exuberant reaction when the Chicago Cubs won the 2016 World Series after years and years of trying. The player's reaction was an exuberant reaction, full of high spirits. Next word is fervent. Fervent is an adjective and meaning having great emotion. You'll often hear the word fervent in terms of prayer. Someone who offers a fervent prayer is a prayer that is full of emotion. You can see in the picture here, this man is praying and is bent over. His head is in his hands. He is having full emotion while he is praying. Next word is foretell. It is a verb, and it means to tell beforehand, to predict. You can remember this because of the prefix for, meaning before, and tell, so before it is told, to tell beforehand, to predict. This is a fortune teller. Someone who is able to predict what is going to happen to you. They can foretell your future. The next word, impending. Impending is an adjective, and it means about to take place, menacing. There is an impending storm coming. They are warning people about the impending storm. You can see the dark clouds, the dark menacing clouds. Menacing meaning that it's kind of coming to get you. So, it's about to take place. It's menacing. The storm is blowing in. Next word is incredible. It's an adjective, and it means unbelievable. You've probably seen the movie The Incredibles. Incredible, unbelievable. They have unbelievable superpowers in order to save the world working together. The Incredibles. Next, ingenious. Ingenious is an adjective, and it means clever, displaying inventiveness or imagination. This is an ingenious invention if you're one of those people that likes to hit snooze on their alarm clock and then fall right back to sleep. This is a mat that is the alarm clock, and it will not go off until you step on it, meaning you have to get out of bed and sit up forward. So this is an ingenious invention for those of us who just fall right back to sleep anyway. Next is meager. Meager is an adjective, and it means deficient in quantity, scanty, thin. This would be a meager meal. It is deficient in quantity. It is a thin meal. One piece of shrimp, a tiny, tiny potato, and just a piece of asparagus. It is a meager meal. Next, precipitate. Precipitate is a verb. It is the cause, which is an event or a situation, typically one that's bad or undesirable, that happens suddenly, unexpectedly, or prematurely. You can see this set of lungs here is diseased. It's dark. It's not getting the oxygen that it needs to sustain the body. It is precipitated, this lung disease is precipitated by smoking. Smoking is the cause, typically bad, undesirable, that causes lung disease. Precipitate. Smoking comes first, lung disease comes after. The next is suffrage. Suffrage is a noun, and it means the right to vote. You've probably heard this term in social studies or history class before in terms of the suffragettes. Suffragettes were women until August of 1920. Women did not have suffrage. They were not able to vote. Only men could vote. So they would march and protest in order to win the vote. Suffrage, the right to vote. The word thrive is a verb. It means to grow vigorously, to prosper. This picture shows you a plant that is thriving. It is growing vigorously. It is prospering. It is thriving. And unsung. Unsung is an adjective. It means not honored, celebrated, or praised. It is not getting honor, celebration, or praise. You might hear this in terms of an unsung hero. Dogs were the unsung hero of 9/11. They were not celebrated, they were not honored because, well, they were dogs. However, search dogs were integral in going through the rubble of the Twin Towers after 9/11 trying to find signs of life from survivors. So dogs here were the unsung heroes of 9/11. All right, guys, that concludes your vocabulary for this week. Go ahead and make sure you have all 20 of your words and notes for each one on how you can remember them. You can go back to Canvas to access any activities. I have a Quizlet for these words that you can download the Quizlet app on your phone and study them repeatedly for the next couple of weeks for your test. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Bye.